Lots of folks are on. Um, and also, if you've got any questions or comments, just let us know and we'll try to answer those. Josh, I'll let you kind of monitor those for us. So I'm a kind of a $2 million a month guy with a little bit extra. So I'm really more right around a $30 million new assets every year kind of an advisor. I used to be the former chief marketing officer of a $2 billion RIA firm, and also I was a minority owner. I'm sorry, a $2 billion IMO and a $3 billion RIA. I was a minority owner of that company, and we were actually number 10 fastest growing company on the Inc. 5000 list. So that was pretty cool. Sold out of those companies and started my own private wealth management practice. And I'm happy to kind of work exclusively with V2. And, Chris Seitz is a good friend. We've known of each other for a long time. Big fan of Josh Lemmy, who's on here, who's our top sales coach and just super sharp. But what we're going to try to do is show you a little bit today about the Secure Act and some sales strategies on how you can increase your life and annuity premium as well. And we'll kind of get into it, probably a little bit AUM as well. This presentation is great for folks who are also Series 65 license, or it's also great for people who are just life and health license who write predominantly annuities. So let's kind of go into it. So we kind of have a Secure Act selling system. We want to kind of help properly educate qualified prospects to be ready to kind of work with you. Our goal is to make sure we always introduce you to qualified ideal prospects, and we do that through our V2 seminars. Also, we help some advisors on the radio as well, but podcasts, blogs, all kinds of stuff to kind of leverage more market share. We want to help you talk about the Secure Act to get a disproportionate or unfair share of the market, because everyone's interested. It's not just you as an advisor. Everyone is interested in learning what the heck happened between Christmas and New Year's to talk about the Secure Act. Also, we want to talk about how to transfer the new regulations into a sales process that serves clients and portfolio management with FIAs and with IULs. And we've got some pretty good U.S. tax talking points too. So the new rules, RMDs now start at age 72, but a lot of your clients are having to take distributions sooner than that because they need to distribute, let's say 4 to 6 or 7%. Hopefully it's only 4%, but many are distributing more than 4% out of their IRAs every single year to fund their retirement. And, so that stretching it to age 72, even though it was a nice give from the federal government and the Secure Act, it actually doesn't help many retirees' personal economy because they're already pulling money out. And if you're already taking RMDs, you have to continue taking them. The new rules don't affect folks that were, if you were born between January 1st and June 30th, 1949, you're subject to the old rules, and you must take your first RMD before the end of 2020. But if you were born on July 21st, 1949 or after, or later, you can delay taking beginning distributions until 72. But it is helpful in your seminars to be able to share that, because everybody's like, they look at their own personal birthday, like, well, I was born before July 1st, 1949, so bummer, I've got to take them. I had a gentleman in my seminar last night that fell into that same window between January 1st and June 30th, and he asked the question, and I was able to answer him exactly this way, and everybody wrote it down. It was really good. It was really engaging. You can contribute to a traditional IRA after age 7.5. Obviously, if you're earning income, after 7.5, you can make contributions to your traditional IRA and your Roth, which is really good. Before, you couldn't do that to a traditional IRA. This change is great news for anyone who does continue working and wants to build their retirement savings. Here's the medicine. The medicine is pretty bad for beneficiaries and also for the middle class. IRAs, with stretch IRAs, used to be great wealth transfer vehicles. Now they are no longer. And so they've gotten rid of stretch IRAs for most people unless you're within 10 years of the age of the person who just died or who just passed away. if you're a beneficiary of them and you received a beneficiary IRA, or that you're a spouse, or you've got minor children or chronically ill or disabled folks. Now, what that means is you basically have 10 years to start taking it. So if you've got a $500,000 IRA and you're giving it to your only child, even without growth, if they just left it in cash, you're having to take out $50,000 a year. That child's going to have to take out $50,000 a year for the next 10 years. And that's going to add to their tax burden. And a lot of these people that are inheriting beneficiary IRAs, they're in their prime earning years, kind of that 30 to 60 year range of when they're receiving these beneficiary IRAs. And so it's a huge problem. It would just also drive up your ordinary income tax rate. Also, distributions from an IRA or even a beneficiary IRA are billed at your ordinary income tax rate. That's not the ordinary income tax rate of the deceased. That's the ordinary income tax rate of the recipient, of the beneficiary. Your 401k might start including annuities. What we talk about here, the U.S. government went through a huge concern and an uh-oh moment in 2008. From March 2008 to March 2009, the S&P 500 lost 50.1% of its value. That was a huge concern, an enormous concern for the U.S. government. And what they've done is they've now started to allow annuities, and it's not all the way vetted yet, but what we say to folks within seminars is the U.S. government is using annuities to protect the wealth of the nation. They're allowing annuities to be purchased within IRAs or 401ks or 403bs or 457s or SEP IRAs or simple IRAs within those qualified accounts. They're doing that to protect the wealth of the nation. And if they're doing that, then it may be time to consider investing in a fixed index annuity that could be a bond replacement. And we also ask, hey, should we, with bond replacement, why are we paying advisory fees for a bond replacement? Why are we paying fees for advisory fees on bond income when we can use a bond replacement and use fixed index annuities to get us market-like gains? Hey, Josh, I think you had a question that came in. I didn't know if you want to share that question.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, somebody just raised their hand, I guess.
Up right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So just to be clear, though, you want to try to give good third-party credibility with the U.S. government with annuities. And also what Chris Seitz with V2 says, that, listen, there are so many options out there and new products that have come online where everyone's competing for that fixed index annuity dollar or that index universal life dollar. Those products are much more attractive than they used to be. And there's more competitions. With more competition comes better products for the end consumer and for the client. And so I would encourage folks to give fixed index annuities a second look, specifically as a bond replacement that can reduce your advisory fees and give you market-like gains, but also do what the federal government's asking to do, which is, hey, protect some of your assets so that they're not invested in the market. Because when you invest in a fixed index annuity, obviously your money is invested in that policy. It's not invested in the market. And in my water bottle example, the money you give them, 100% of the money you give them goes into a 10-year treasury. And at the end of year one, they'll take the interest that's generated off that 10-year treasury and invest it in options and things like the S&P 500 or a Barclays or a Janus fund or whatever. And they'll give you some of the gains. And they'll give you some of the gains, and they'll take some of the gains. But even if it goes to zero, if those options go to zero in year two, zero is your hero, and you've got all of your money still protected. And also they'll lock in the gains off of 2-year protection periods, as we all know as advisors. So I just want to make sure that you're connecting the dots between the U.S. government, the federal government is saying, hey, you can use annuities within your qualified plans, and they're doing that for a reason. They're doing it because they want to better protect the wealth of the nation so they can tax on that wealth of the nation. Also, 401ks are going to become more accessible to businesses and employees. they're going to have multi-employer plans. So it's not just have dedicated. You have to have a certain minimum. And so that's really good because 401ks are really great forced savings vehicles. And it kind of allows you, even though that money comes out pre-tax from your paycheck, and it also reduces your AGI, your adjusted gross income as a consumer or as a worker. It's hugely helpful because it forces you to pay yourself first by saving for the future and saving for your retirement. And we think that is a really big deal. And it's a great savings vehicle and it's a great habit generator. Also, our portfolios do very well with Brookstone Capital. That's part of the AmeriLife Group, and it's a sister company to V2. But we don't generate 100% growth on our portfolios every year. But if you get 401k matching, guess what? You get 100% growth on that money. It's free money. Why wouldn't you take it? But it's much more than just free money. It's 100% growth on your money immediately when you put it in. So it grows, and that principal grows, demonstrably. So I just want you to know that 401k plans are going to become more accessible because of the Secure Act, and that's really good because it's also for savings and also can help many of the children of the folks that are in your seminars, can help them be better savers. New parents can take out penalty-free distributions for births and adoptions. This is important. It's also a good way to try to attach to an IUL. So I tell the story. My wife and I went through IVF in our 13 years ago, and we got twin girls out of the deal. We put 2 eggs in and we got 2 eggs out. So we definitely got our money's worth, and it was a lot of money. But we were going through adoption at the same time because my wife and I, we both wanted to be parents. And we were selected by a birth mother, and we almost had 3 kids at the same time or within a month of each other. And luckily for us, and probably for that child, the birth mother selected a different family who were childless, and which was fine. But it would have been really nice when we were having to pay all that money for soy formula and diapers and everything else. I mean, I had $1,000 trips to Costco every month. It'd be really helpful if, we could have taken money out of our IRA or our 401ks to help fund that. It would have been really helpful. So it's good to know, but also what we try to do, listen, if you want to win the grandparent game, instead of investing in a 529 account, we would encourage you to consider an index universal life policy where, you could invest in an index universal life policy that you own that insures your child, their spouse is the beneficiary, and their kids, by the time they turn 18, would be beneficiaries. But it can plan for college, that you can take money out by the time they're 22 years old when they hopefully graduate from college. And then you can keep paying in, or the child can keep paying in to plan for their retirement. And they can also get a tax-free retirement income that they can never outlive, that comes in the form of loans up against the policy with an index universal life policy. So it's really an amazing product. My partner and senior vice president, Brandy Seats, what she calls it, she thinks IULs are absolute magic. And I would encourage you to try to connect the dots between this penalty-free distribution and also funding grandkids college, and also helping your children save for their retirement and also generate a tax-free retirement that they can never outlive. And that's a really good thing. And we've got some tax fixes in here too. I don't really do a lot of connection back other than the $4,000 in qualified tuition and fees. I'll connect that back with an index universal life policy and plan. Also, we'll talk about the college savings plans can now be used for apprenticeships, and up to $10,000 can be used for student loan repayments. Would it be better if you were able to put $250 to $750 a month in that could generate incredible income and also pay for college income, for retirement income for your kids, and can absolutely fund your grandchildren's entire college? It's a great way to go. Here are just the slides that we use for our presentation. So we put these in here. It's all what we just kind of shared, so I'm not going to go back through these. But we do share them this way, and we don't put any descriptions. I just talk to them. So that way people, can see the large bullet points, but then some folks are taking notes. We always provide workbooks that have kind of 2-up slides on each page, and people just make notes on them. When we do these, we do it without putting note lines in it. So therefore, the slides are much larger, and they're top and bottom half the page apiece. And that seems to work well, and all of our folks really appreciate our workbooks. And we call them financial workbooks, by the way. Then Secure Act of 2019, again, we've got all those same bullet points, and we've got a nice photo and all that stuff, so people kind of see that we're on it on the Secure Act side. So here's this checklist for your clients. You want to calculate the amount of qualified funds that they have. A lot of them don't know. I was like, I've got some money in that old IRA. I've got a 401k. My wife's got a 403b. She's a teacher. And they're kind of put it all together, but they don't really understand and calculate how much they really have. Next, you want to have them calculate, their monthly expenses. What are they truly spending? What I ask people to do is ask them to combine 2 months together, like say a March, April, or a May, June, or something like that. I don't like to include December because it includes Christmas or Hanukkah, where there's a lot of gifts that are purchased. And then divide those 2 months by 2, and that'll give them a good idea of what they're spending on a monthly basis. And it's usually eye-dropping. Jaw-dropping. It's eye-opening and jaw-dropping, I should say. They feel like, wow, I'm actually spending more than I thought I was spending. Then once they've figured out how much they've got in their qualified funds, and we want to ask them, hey, why don't you understand what it would take, how much you get if you're only taking 4% withdrawal rate with the rule, the 4% rule. If you're only taking 4% from your entire retirement nest egg in principal a year, how much would that afford you? So I give the example of a Social Security, a husband and wife, he's got a $30,000 Social Security benefit a year. He's making $2,500 a month. She's got $15,000 a year, a little over $1,000 a month. And so what happens is that the two of them combined, that's $45,000, and taxes will come out of that, obviously. But that's really good, though. You've got $45,000, but let's say they need $85,000 less, whatever the taxes are. So if they got $1 million IRA, they can take 4% or $40,000 from their IRA, pay that ordinary income tax rate, and then that helps them meet their obligations for their living expenses without having to go back to work or saying, hey, welcome to Walmart. So that's what we do to try to get folks ready for this checklist. And they really should get ready, because the way you can connect this back to Secure Act is if they've got a 10-year window for their children to take distributions from their beneficiary IRA, they need to understand how much they have that they're going to give their kids in beneficiary IRA, right? I'm going to go back to this. I'll come back to the immediate benefit. Oh, okay, good. Let's do this now. So immediate benefit plan, you've got an immediate benefit plan. We also use the term beneficiary liquidity plan. If you want, this is a really good bonus thing for you today. If you want to figure out how to pay for all of your marketing and then some, and make money from your annual reviews, I would encourage you to present a immediate benefit plan, or what we call a beneficiary liquidity plan. You want to have your money growing, your clients can have money growing at CD or money market rates at 2.2% annual growth. Their beneficiaries receive a death benefit tax-free within 48 hours without a death certificate. It's amazing. There's no other products like transfer on death accounts. They all require a death certificate. I don't know about you guys, but in the state of Georgia, my mom passed away a little over 14 years ago. And when she passed away, it was 28 days for me to get a death certificate. It's an average of 21 days now. That means that your clients' children are going to have to go into their own wallets and their own pocket to pay for it. We've got this right product. You need to give our office a call, and we'll go over the number here in a second, but you need to call V2 and get signed up and get appointed on this beneficiary liquidity plan or this immediate benefit plan. immediate benefit plan is kind of our own internal for it, but our mentor on this, that he uses the term beneficial liquidity plan, and it's awesome. But it's also the cheapest way for you to leave a remarkable legacy with your kids. So let's say you take $25,000 out to pay for your funeral. Your funeral costs, let's say 20 grand, and 5,000 of it is used to fly in relatives to your funeral for free. And your kids are spending the entire time during the funeral celebrating your life versus negotiating and haggling over who's paying for what and how much are getting owed back by the estate or whatever that looks like. You're in a much better spot. So I would just encourage you to consider a beneficiary liquidity plan. And oh, by the way, it pays a 13% commission. So you're going to make over $3,000 if somebody writes a $25,000 beneficiary liquidity plan with you. I think that is amazing. What's happening is we're using small withdrawals, penalty-free withdrawals from fixed index annuities on annual review dates to fund these policies. And it's a huge deal. Also, there's no additional, it is a trust. It's an irrevocable trust. The money goes hard after 45 days, and it goes hard for the beneficiaries, not for the client. So they won't get access, the client won't get access to that money again, and it's in an irrevocable trust, but it's paid for within the policy. And it's a life policy, and we've got the best company going on this type of product. And I think you're absolutely going to love it, and you definitely need to give B2 a call and call your sales coach. But you're probably the first professional family members that will contact upon the passing of your client. And so it gives you an opportunity to continue to manage the assets too, because if you're the one that has the beneficiary liquidity plan and you're giving those loved ones $25,000 to pay for the funeral within the first 24 to 48 hours, you've got a chance to hold on to the assets. It's been proven that inherited assets generally are gone, all the way gone, within a year and a half, within 18 months. It's your job as advisors to make sure you do everything you can to make sure that they can hold on to that money and it can benefit future generations. A beneficiary liquidity plan or an immediate benefit plan here would absolutely do that. But can you imagine making 13% off of your annual reviews? Now, you're not going to make 13% off the entire amount that you're reviewing, but if you can take $25,000 out and make over $3,000 just on every annual review, that'll help pay for your marketing. I mean, it literally would go to pay for one of the V2 seminars. And by the way, V2 seminars, I need to go ahead and tell y'all, V2 seminars, if you write $300,000 worth of fixed index annuity premium with V2 financial marketing, they will pay for your seminar, and they guarantee to put 31 plus buying units into your next seminar. They're doing that with our Apex Digital team, stuff that we do. We learned how to build that, and I think it's great. We use Facebook marketing and customize integrated landing pages to help you do that. But I would encourage you to make sure that you're doing everything you can to try out that beneficial liquidity plan. The actual phone number, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and change this, is actually 866 984-1585. Again, 866-984-1585, or you can visit v2fm.com. If you've got questions or you just want to email me, you can email me at ford@activewealth.com, and I'm happy to take your calls or take your questions. Again, it's ford@activewealth.com. And we're so excited to work exclusive with V2. They've got 4 proprietary products coming out, one on long-term care. There's a 7 and 10-year Prudential product that just came out. And it's a fixed index annuity that I think is a game changer. And also it's aligned with a really great brand like Prudential. And that's exclusive to V2 and the AmeriLife company. So I'm super excited about that. And what we try to do today is we try to connect the dots from Secure Act into the overview with trying to help with index universal life policies or fixed index annuities. And I hope that this kind of helped y'all. I hope this is something that was that you felt was really good. I was trying to check and make sure, but it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, but it's really worth it to talk about it. If you haven't sent an email, a drip email out to all of your folks, we need to go ahead and do that this week. I send out I send out an email that said what changes happened to an IRA, and we can help give you that content. It's definitely a really good idea. Let me see I've got a couple of questions here. And yes, we'll try to record this and get it back to you on a replay. And we'll be taking calls with sales coaches this afternoon, Kyle. And Brian, we'll give you a replay for sure. Also, our sales coaches have kind of a couple of different PDFs that I think you'll like. But again, you really need to be communicating with your clients about Secure Act, what changes happen to IRAs with Secure Act, and also whatever else you can do. So make sure you're communicating proactively about the Secure Act, even if you haven't done it. There's plenty of people that haven't heard about it yet that need to hear about it. So yeah, we're happy to help in all of those things. But I would encourage you to call 866-984-1585, and Doug will get you a replay as well. And Josh, do I need to, you got the recording taken care of, or?
Yeah, I got a recording going on. Hey, my video's working.
Hey, that's good.
Have a recording. We'll get that edited, and anybody that put their email in to register, which I think is everybody, will get an opportunity to get a link to that. Definitely appreciate your time today, Ford. I'm getting 10 emails a day about Secure Act, probably logging 3 or 4 calls a day or more, covering all this with my agents and advisors out there. And there's a lot of negativity with the agents that I'm working with in regards to this new legislation. And myself or whoever your account manager is can partner with you and tell you how to take the lemons here and turn it into lemonade, because there's a lot more opportunities for new business than potential lost sales because of the prohibitive nature of annuities and inherited IRAs, for example. So connect with me or Jimmy or Brett, whoever you're working with here, and we can give you some ideas and coach you through some sales ideas on that.
Let me give everybody a quick factoid here. This came from Wall Street Journal. They estimated that there's $15.71 billion will be collected in the next 10 years from the Secure Act, just in beneficiary IRA taxes that ordinary income tax are going to pay on beneficiary IRAs. So it is an absolute attack on the middle class. By the way, only 3 senators voted against it. Rand Paul was one of them. And I would just encourage you to make sure that you can kind of put yourself on the side of the client, and both of you are on the other side of the table from the IRS, because nobody's friends with the IRS, right? But it's nice. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So all of us are trying to help clients pay less in taxes. It's a great way for you to kind of do that and try to align with your client more, because again, your goal is to have, folks to know, like, and trust you. And by the way, Kyle, if you're looking to see who was talking, it was myself as Ford Stokes, and I'm a financial advisor in Atlanta, Georgia, and a former chief marketing officer of a $2 billion IMO and a minority owner of a $3 billion RA. So that's me. And I write about $30 million a year. A majority of it's assets under management, but I do write 10 to 20% in fixed index annuities. And I write all my fixed index annuities with V2 Financial Marketing and Josh, and really appreciate the support of my practice. Josh, thank you so much. And we'll get this recording out to you. Plus, Josh, you've got those two PDFs that we've shared that you can get out to folks too.
Yeah, we sure do. We'll put together a nice care package to everybody that was attended, with the checklist and some of this additional information, replay and all that. And then, real easy way to get in touch with us over here. If you just respond to any of the emails you got from Zoom meeting to register for this webinar, comes right into my inbox, so I'll be able to respond even if I'm on the phone. We can schedule a time to talk if you don't have an account manager here. So we'll definitely provide you plenty of ways to get in touch with us and get some help, share some ideas.
Yeah, and we had this was well attended. So there's a whole lot of folks. The last time I saw it was we had over 79 people on here. So we're happy to help any way we can. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Josh.
All right. Thanks for attending, and we'll talk soon.
Got it. Thanks. Bye-bye.